Hey, did you run World Finals?
I did.
How did you do?
That's a whole long story if you want me to get into it there.
So wait.
Yeah, of course.
So I just met you for the first time.
Yeah.
Right outside here. You run Monster Jam, and then you also run oval track stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
which one are you focused more on?
Well, honestly, I started my career off just racing short track stuff, and NASCAR was the goal, the ultimate goal, and got my first NASCAR opportunity in 2014 to drive with Bobby Dotter in the Truck Series, and I actually didn't have the sponsors or the partners or anything like that, so I actually did a crowdfunding campaign and was able to put together the funds to make it happen. And ever since 2014, I made my first truck start, and that's been the ultimate goal ever since then. But really just found myself lucky and fortunate enough with an opportunity to go to Monster Jam University 2016, went out there and auditioned and was just kind of really fortunate enough to come out in the end, and 2017 was my rookie year. So it's been an adventure ever since then.
So you go. We talked about this with Morgan Kane a
did.
while ago, but I still don't.
He actually
for
promised
everybody.
us that we could go to
Whoa.
that school.
He wrote me a message the other day that said we need to get you in a monster truck.
Oh,
He's on.
he didn't send me that message.
Well, he knows better. You can paint a helmet for, or maybe you should design a monster truck.
No, I want to drive one.
Your Jeep, you can't make it down 77 without ripping the fender off your Jeep.
That's true.
But so you go to Monster Jam University. Like, is it just something you can enroll in, or do you have to be invited, or how does that whole deal work?
Yes. Please
Kind
explain.
of both ways, really. A lot of people, we send in your resume to monsterjam.com and Feld Entertainment and stuff like that, and some people know somebody at Monster Jam that's fortunate enough to get themselves an opportunity. I was kind of right in the middle. I really didn't know anybody, but I just always wanted to drive a monster truck. Just kind of like everybody.
Yeah.
Every little kid growing up always wants
Who
to drive a
doesn't
monster
wanna
truck.
drive one?
Exactly.
Who was
Yeah.
your favorite monster truck as a kid?
I mean, you gotta say Gravedigger.
If you
really.
don't
I mean,
say
it is,
Gravedigger-
Mine was
it is.
Snakebite.
No.
The Snakebite?
Yeah, Snakebite.
Okay. All right, that's a
Why?
good one.
Because Snakebite was awesome, and he would always come to. So I guess the Bigfoot and that group would come to Wall Stadium, so Snakebite would come.
Oh yeah.
But
did he wear a
obviously
gold chain?
you're a Gravedigger fan, right?
Always.
Yeah.
But Snakebite was just cool as hell to me.
That guy was cool. Did you just have Bigfoot and Bigfoot and Snakebite, or
I
what?
think it was Carolina Crusher.
They come to like Wall Stadium.
Yeah, Jimmy Blewett drove one time and wrecked it.
Oh, that is true. I
My
remember
buddy who was like the modified champion of Wall Stadium where we grew up, they had them like the big monster truck rally every year.
Yeah.
Like they used, kind of before Monster Jam came along. And a guy at a dealership owned a monster truck. And they were like, "Yeah, we'll just put Blewett in it. Like he knows how to drive." So he went down the hill. Like, we get there and he's got like his hat on backwards. He's like 23, 22 years old, modified champ, cocky as hell. And the guy from Bigfoot comes up and he's like, "Hey man, where'd you get your license at?" And Jimmy's like, "License? I'm on the front of the program, bro. I don't have a license." And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You can't race." He's like, "I'm on the like, look, this is me versus you on the program." So like he went out on the track and like drove over the wall and ripped the wall down, and then just pinned it wide open, went straight up in the air and straight down and blew the whole rear tires off.
I think
Ooh.
I listened to your podcast with Morgan and Bryce,
Yeah.
and I think I remember hearing you telling that story.
It
and
was crazy.
It's like, yeah, it's crazy.
But you can't do that now because they kind of have a lock on everything, don't they?
No, not
Felt.
at all, really. Actually, I mean, we're putting on a great show. Every single city we go to, we promise the fans to put on a great show, and that's what we do. There's
But nobody's just going to show up and drive them. You have to go through.
Yeah, you have to be
that's
kind
what
of
I'm
a
getting
driver with Feld and with Monster Jam. Or, I mean, we have independents out there. Like, for example, Jimmy Creighton, who won the World Finals Racing Championship this weekend, has been doing it for, as long as I've been alive, 25 years. Yeah. So there's a bunch of independents out there. For example, on my tour this year, we had 6 company trucks, so Feld Entertainment, and the remainder of them were all independently owned. So, but truthfully, I don't know that side of it. Who they pick independently wise to come and drive with them. But you can own your own truck and drive a Monster Jam.
And Monster Jam owns Gravedigger now, don't they?
Yeah, yep. We own the Monster Jam.
I want to go to Kill Devil Hills so bad and
Me
check
too.
that place out.
I've been
Me
there.
too.
I'm gonna bring Harper there.
I went there for a mud bog rally one time.
Really?
Yeah, it was great. And I thought it was gonna be like a little local, because they were just like, "Yeah, come over." So we went after Richmond night race at Richmond. We'd drive over there, and like 5,000 people showed up to their house. To, like,
That's
mud
awesome.
bog, and I was like, "Holy smokes!" Like,
At
this
the
is-
Anderson's house?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it was cool.
They just
Hey.
had one down in Florida that they had a whole bunch of people out there too. Dennis
Dude,
and
rednecks
all
come
them.
out for forever to go to that kind of stuff.
So this weekend at the World Finals, I saw that they had kind of you'd start on the hill and
Yeah.
how much different was that? Because I saw everybody I watched at the beginning was blowing so far past the corner. Like I was like, oh, they're not gonna make it.
Yeah, so this year we ended up, for the 20th anniversary, went to Camping World Stadium out in Orlando. And, the big thing with the World Finals is that the track's always different. It's always going to be a different adventure with going to the World Finals. And when we were going there, we knew we had to have something different. We had to try going crazy, and so we ended up saying, hey, heck with it. Let's go from the concourse. Let's go from elevated start line down into the stadium, like a 50-foot drop. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But the track actually changed a little bit, just like any dirt track racing, where the track one night might be real slick or real dry or tacky. And, I mean, you just like dirt racing.
Yeah.
Well, the right lane ended up being super, super slick. For some reason, we limed the track to bring some moisture up and stuff like that, but the right lane just was like glass, and the left lane was starting to tack up, get a lot of grip. And so Ryan Anderson and I were actually one of the first passes down the track, and both of us were real slick, but my first one was down the right lane, and I thought I was going to go hit the wall. I mean, I drove down in there, and I'm like, man, I was turning halfway down the straightaway, and it's still going straight. But, yeah, the track was awesome. It was really cool. I mean, it was just totally different from Thunder Alley in Las Vegas, where we get to do a little bit of a kink and stuff like that. And a lot of fans were disappointed that we weren't going back there and we weren't doing that, but we knew we had to kind of come up with something different, and that was pretty epic. Because when you're sitting up on the start line, you couldn't see anything. Like, you could literally just see the jump of where you're going to have to go turn around, and that's it. Like, you could not see the drop. You just had to hope for the best. Hope that your steering wheel was straight. You back up a couple times, make sure you were straight, and then just pin it. Because we're on a pro tree, just try to time it right, pin it, and as soon as you drop, you're just hanging off for dear life and hoping for the best.
So you red light often, like an NHRA car, or not really?
We don't red light that often, but man, that's a sore subject because I
Did you red light?
I did, yeah.
Come on.
So ended up.
Why would you bring that up?
Yeah, I know.
He specifically said before this interview,
don't talk.
Don't talk about the red lighting.
Did you?
No,
you didn't tell me that. Oh.
No, no, it's all good. I mean, so we ended up. It's my first appearance in the main show. So we actually have the Double Down Showdown, where there's a few trucks that just didn't quite make the main show. And then there's the main show where there's past champions, invites, and champions of the year. And I was fortunate enough to be an invite for this year. And we were the fastest one in practice. Out of the 24 trucks, we made the fastest pass down the track. And going into qualifying, unfortunately, hit the right lane the first pass. Wasn't good. Left lane. Ended up actually going on for a tumble. I found a rut, went tumbling, so I qualified really, really poor. So we ended up was fortunate enough, made it through the first round, and we were the fastest truck. We actually had the fastest pass, so we got to choose our lane. We made it all the way to semifinal round, and I was at the line, and we're about to make a pass, get in the tree, bumping in on our lights for the pro tree, and all of a sudden the guy I'm racing against, in the semifinal round, mind you, goes. I'm like, wait, the tree didn't drop, but okay, all right. Well, so we ended up actually redoing the race, which I didn't think you could do. I mean, if you jump the start, you jump the start.
Yeah.
But we ended up.
He red lighted.
So he
DQ.
Kind
Should
of,
be a
yeah,
DQ.
yeah. Right, kind of what I thought. But we ended up redoing it, and then I ended up red lighting.
I feel like you guys throw a lot of rules out the window at these things.
Well,
come on.
It was interesting. I don't know why we ended up redoing it, but it is what it is. I ended up kind of messing myself up and getting a red light there, so I kind of
it's all good.
Messed up my chances of winning a War Finals Racing Championship, but it's all right. I mean, I'll come back next year. We proved that we were fast, so that's all that matters.
Is this your first real big year on the deal, or
yeah?
What'd you do last year?
It is. So my first 2 years, my rookie year was 17. And my last 2 years, I was on the Triple Threat Series where we drive the ATVs and speedsters and the trucks. There's 8 of us in arenas.
Explain to people, hold on.
Yeah.
How the deal works, because it's Feld owns these trucks now.
Yep.
And then you guys have 4 different tours going on, or how many do you have?
7.
7. Oh,
yeah.
Crap.
So 7.
On a weekend, there's 7 shows across America going on at the same time.
Exactly, it's crazy. So Monster Jam is owned by Felder Entertainment. It's the world's largest live entertainment company, privately owned.
Giant company.
Massive, and the building is amazing. I mean, we run all sorts of stuff. Disney on Ice, Marvel Universe, AMA Arena Cross, Monster Energy Supercross, Houston the Circus.
Disney on Ice passes. I have a daughter.
I mean, we'll talk afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't really care about monster trucks
right.
now.
But yeah, so we actually end up having 7 different tours during our first quarter, which generally our first quarter is January through March. This year is extended to about May. But there's 7 different tours going on. There's 3 different stadium tours. So we'll be at places like, obviously like Camping World Stadium, just basically big football stadiums, baseball stadiums, stuff like that. And then we have 4 arena tours. And out of those 4, 3 of them are called the Triple Threat Series. So the Triple Threat Series is actually where we, all 8 of the drivers drive not only their trucks, but they drive ATVs and speedsters in the show. And it's actually really, really cool because, you would think in past shows we'd had different ATV riders and stuff like that where, no, these are legitimately, these 8 athletes are jumping from all 3 vehicles throughout the show. And it's really, really cool to see, and there's a lot of action going on. But those are in arenas, so a lot smaller venues. But yeah,
That's
7
gotta
different
be
cities.
sketchy.
You are wore out by the end of the night. Like, we'll do 2 shows in one night.
Well, it's got to be sketchy just to be in the monster truck. Because I've been to a couple of them shows,
Yeah.
like Bojangles Arena, and I'm like, how are they going to fit a monster truck in here?
Nah, it's honestly not
And then they
that
jump
bad.
into the seating.
Well,
Well,
they shut you right. You have to pull up, and then they hit the button, and your truck shuts off, and you fire back up, right?
Yeah, so we
It's too safe now.
Monster Jam takes safety really
I
seriously.
really want to sit in the
It's-
front row and really just
We
try
have
my
safety
luck.
holds, so we actually take up like the first couple of rows of seating and stuff like that for safety and whatnot. But yeah, what you're saying with the whole shut off, we have what's called a remote ignition interrupter, RII. So there's 3 different lanes we can be in. If you're looking at a truck, you'll see like a little maybe red light or yellow light or both of them on at the same time in the windshield. That's our RRI system. So they can shut us off at any time. So yeah, Monster Jam takes safety incredibly seriously, and yeah, we don't take any chances with anything. That's
NASCAR
for
needs
sure.
that.
I know that I
Yeah.
lost the right front qualifying at Atlantic City one time. The hub broke, and the wheel went in the grandstands.
Really?
Nobody was in there, thank God. But I was like, monster trucks.
Monster.
Their wheels are a lot bigger.
A lot heavier, yeah.
But
How much does the wheel weigh?
About 700-800 pounds all said and done.
how do they get them on forklifts?
No, man, no. You just wiggle it on. There's actually, it's a cool system. Like, it probably takes you maybe 10, 15 minutes. A good guy, like my crew chief, John Fitchett, he can tire a truck up and down in about 15 minutes.
I've
Do you
felt
think
like
you
I've
could do it
changed.
faster? Ryan's a professional
I
tire
feel like
changer.
I've changed tires on monster trucks before. It's just because I missed so many lug nuts. It was like
How many lugs
10.
are on a monster truck wheel?
I think there's 10 or 12, I want to say.
I've
Ooh,
been
that'd be
there.
a big pound.
I've been there. There's only
Yeah.
5, but I've swung at 12
It's-
before.
Did you hit them all this weekend?
I did well this
Night
weekend.
race?
We did not have a good run for us. but
Yeah, not well.
a lot of adjustments, but part of it.
Whatever.
I changed tires one time. I did it. I remember I showed up to the track.
Good
I was-
idea. I wish I went to monster truck
I was-
driving instead of
So I helped Todd Peck, a truck driver. He's like, hey man, I need a hand out this weekend. I think we were out in Vegas, and not to get off subject, but I thought it was really funny.
We have no
Wait,
subject.
there's
We
no
got there.
subject here. You just talk about whatever you want.
All right, fair enough. So when we got there,
Until Daryl
He's
tells us to stop. That's all we really do.
so he's like, man, so I need you to pit this weekend. I'm like, all right, sounds good, no worries. But can you actually pit for 2 trucks? We got to help someone else out too. I'm like,
Oh, this was the Vegas when everybody else is in Dover. And it's
I
hard
don't
to
know,
get.
like
Yeah, it's in
2,
the
3
summer.
years ago or
It's in
something.
the
Yeah.
summer. Yeah, I know.
So I'm like,
exactly
all
what it
right, well, I've never done. I'm not doing the fronts though because I'm a driver and I don't even trust myself. So I'm
That's
not
what I
doing
do
fronts.
for
I'm
a
gonna do the
living.
rear. Oh, man,
is. It's not that bad.
good for you.
It's not that bad. Till you get hit.
So I just remember going out there and I'm like, all right, well, whatever happens, happens. All I got to worry is about 5 on, 5 off, and it was just wicked because I remember just getting the one truck done, hop back over the wall. I ran. I don't remember how many pit stalls back down.
They
to the
didn't
other
even
truck.
pick pit stalls next to each
No,
other.
absolutely
Oh my
not.
god!
This was like right before the race. So like, man, you're gonna do a second truck too. I'm like, well, I've never done it in my life.
pit
What do you?
stop 5 and pit stop 30.
Yeah.
It's absolutely. They just. No, that was not.
I just-
no courtesy
no.
at all.
Yeah, 0.
Just, hey, unplug and get over there.
No, I'm good though. I enjoyed it. It was fun, but I don't trust us drivers.
I'm thinking about
I
going
really
to
don't.
Monster Truck you the more I keep
You
doing
sh-
this.
you
It's
should,
got,
man.
but my body feels like shit. Yours has to hurt from time to time, right? Like I saw what they were doing this weekend, where they for the freestyle, where they would just come
Dude,
down the
They
ramp.
were launching
And-
those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I did some pretty crazy stuff too. I don't know if you happen to see a video of it, but it was a good time. We ended up doing.
I saw your truck was wrecked. There was like there was
Yeah.
just chassis ground and wheels were
we
everywhere.
Trash it.
destroyed it. That's for sure. But yeah, no, I ended up doing a backflip to a stop or a backflip to a moonwalk, which Ryan Anderson's the only other person. He's the first person to do it and the only other person to do it. And I tried it all year long. Kind of pulled it off one weekend, and I knew I just had to pull it off. I wanted it so bad and pulled it off. It was beautiful. And then as soon as I got that, landed it, crew chief came over the radio and said, "Hey man, burn that thing to the ground. Just break it in half. Got it.
Done.
So started going around, just started hitting stuff wide open, all crooked, and ended up kind of ripping the front housing out of the truck there.
So how's your
But
body feel today?
it'll buff out.
It'll
What
be
kind
fine.
of what kind of seats and headrest, like seats and like helmets and everything do you run?
ISP. So yeah, the most of us run ISP stuff. I know Adam Anderson
Are they
runs a
powder
Butler,
coated?
so no, not all fancy schmancy. I've got 2 seats, one for international, one for domestic stuff. But we run a Hans, and so like for your racing, our tethers are generally loose. You can kind of move your head
Yeah.
around stuff like that. But for Monster Jam trucks, we are tight as heck. You can't move your head anywhere. All you can do is move your head, or I'm sorry, your arms, and it's contradicting what I just said. Your arms and your legs and stuff like that. So when you get in there for a freestyle, you want to be tight to where it hurts, because if you're going to loosen up as the run goes, and you're going to tighten yourself up as the run goes.
You got
so,
7-point harnesses.
Yep, 7 point. So.
All the racers that listen to 7-point harnesses. 5-point, your belts will stretch 2 inches. 7-point, they keep you where they're at. Just
For the
Really?
most part.
just
For the
so you
most
know.
part. The 7 helps with your lower body not sliding out from underneath you and stuff like
I was
that.
listening to a Randy LaJoy podcast the other day, and I learned a lot about
He's the
seatbelts,
one
actually.
he's the one that taught me that.
He's very clever.
And also, when you hit, it doesn't crush your nuts.
Also,
As
yes,
bad.
As bad, yeah.
So, why did you crush? You gonna be able to have kids? Kids in the future?
Well, I'm not, I really don't want kids, so I guess that'll help me out.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Just keep smashing your nuts every time you jump. I just go back to the old 5-point harness and slide around in there.
You'd be fine.
I don't understand how, like, the physics of that work, and then I don't understand. I wonder if half of the stuff that I'm watching is like you guys mean to do that, or if it kind of just falls into place, and then how you can shift from forward to reverse so fast.
So that video right there is like the last vote for if it's going to play. Of course it's not going to play right now.
This is the son
But,
of a Digger fan.
Yeah. So honestly, I mean, just it is it's a Cohen 2-speed, so it's kind of like basically semi-automatic, but
So
you
there's
still
no
have to pull,
clutch?
no clutch, but
So
you
you
still have
just
to pull. Pretty much, yeah. But it's still, you got to try to kind of find your way to reverse, find your way all the way back to first and stuff like that. But
Hanging upside down.
yeah, I mean, doing the stoppies and the moonwalks is honestly where a lot of people kind of start freaking out, because when you get it up on the front tires, when you feel like you're straight up and down, yeah, there we go. Pull it down, moonwalk back
yeah.
up there, yeah. And then I'll come around there, start hitting stuff wide open. Just, hey, my crew chief right about now is he said, hey, man, break that thing in half. Just go tear it up out there. And
So you guys have radios.
yeah.
I want to be a crew chief.
It's awesome. I got the best in the business, John Fitchett. He's been in it for
Trash
a
it.
while, and he knows his stuff. I mean, we talked about all sorts of stuff going into this weekend, and he's the man. I wouldn't have the success I had without him, truthfully. So here's this last jump here. Basically, for the listeners, we're just kind of going crazy and come out to this last one and just rip the whole front housing out of the truck. You can see it on my Instagram at Camden.Murphy, but it's pretty cool.
Good plug.
It's
plug.
a good time, but it's such a good time. But yeah, going back to the moonwalk. So when you feel like you're straight up and down, you're actually not. You're actually kind of like at a 45. When you feel like you're past vertical, that's when you're straight up and down. And most people, when learning it, even myself when I was learning how to do the stoppies and the moonwalks, I'd freak out because I feel like you're gonna fall over, but you're not. You just got to be patient, just kind of let the truck do its thing, and then put it in reverse or put it in first. It's just kind of just being patient with it. And
It's a very heavy truck.
yeah, 12,000 pounds.
yeah.
I mean, it kind of does whatever it wants. But honestly, not a lot of it is point and shoot. Some of it's point and shoot where you're just kind of hoping for the best. Like some of that stuff are at the end of a freestyle. Sometimes, yeah, you're just hitting stuff wide open and hoping for the best. But there's a lot of things that you'll see like a little more technical, kind of like the backflip to a moonwalk and stuff like that. But I mean, it's just straight carnage, man.
Did Tom Mintz teach you how to do it?
What?
Is he a teacher?
Yeah,
He is
yeah,
now,
he's the
right?
professor of
Master class.
MJU.
He
Yeah.
changed. I'll tell you what. When I was younger, he changed the game.
Yeah.
I'd come home from school, would be on at like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
How'd you get home from school so quick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I lived
Yeah.
in a town that was a mile.
I didn't even get out of school till like 3:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got out at 2:30, 3 o'clock.
What time did you start?
I don't know. I don't remember. But I
10?
remember what time we got out. But you get home, watch it, and he changed the game with that maximum destruction. Nobody
Yeah.
could even keep up.
No, I mean he's a 12-time. We've been saying for a long time he's an 11-time World Finals champ. Now he's a 12-time, and yeah, he's definitely changed and innovated the sport for sure. But someone that's really innovated it is Ryan Anderson. He's a madman when it comes to behind
He
the
can
wheel.
wheel a truck,
Oh
huh?
my goodness, I love watching him. And lucky enough to tour with him this year. Even with Tom, I toured with Tom Mentz, Ryan Anderson, Morgan Kane.
He's a big name.
I mean, just I toured with so many big names this year, and it was so awesome to see. But Ryan is just an animal behind the
Is
wheel.
Dennis Anderson still around much?
He doesn't drive anymore, no. But he was out at the World Finals this weekend, signing autographs, having a good time. Such an awesome guy, so genuine, and it's really cool to
He's a
finally meet him.
big dude.
I always
Yeah.
just thought he should be like a WWF wrestler as well.
I mean, Monster Trucks kind of is.
Yeah,
It's just like just a cooler version of WWF, right?
Well, one time I remember when I was watching, I was a little kid, and it kind of turned into WWE. You could tell it was scripted. And I
Yeah.
got a little
It's
upset.
legit now, though, man.
It was.
It's been
This
legit
was a
for
long
years.
time. This was over a decade ago, and I was like,
Back on like TNT.
this is probably 15 years ago. I'm like, did they just go Vince McMahon buy this?
Yeah.
What's going on?
I could see that back in the day.
Yeah.
This straight competition now, it's all legit. It's actually really cool because it is pure, and now we provided or gave the fans the opportunity to judge now too. So you go to judgeszone.com and everything. Everybody in the stadium can judge, and it's cool being able to put that in the fans' hands. But now, no, it's all legitimate. It's crazy.
So how tough is it to like go on a tour like that and then try to come back here to old Charlotte, North Carolina, and try to jump in a truck and like getting something you gotta
not a monster truck.
Yeah, not a monster
Yeah.
truck. Slammed to the ground, 200-mile-per-hour NAS truck.
you
where
know,
you gotta finesse it and not try to wreck it.
well, I mean, truthfully, driving a Monster Jam truck is pretty finesse as well.
Yeah.
To some extent. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of difference. I think it's just because I've been lucky enough to kind of be doing it for so long that, it's just like any driver to some extent that can switch.
Adapt.
That can adapt and flip
Yeah.
the switch when they need to drive different kinds of stuff. So it's really not that big of a.
Do you
big
think
of a
it helps
change,
or
so.
hurts you
Um,
going back and forth?
I'd say it helps
Yeah.
because
It's gotta help. It's gotta be like Kyle
Yeah.
Larson going to Millbridge or something,
Yeah.
or just different types of cars and figuring them out. the
exactly.
quickest.
Well, kind of how the way I grew up was, I mean, obviously everybody's chasing the funding in this industry and everything, and trying to find the partners and sponsors to make things happen. But I truthfully haven't had anything, and like I said, my first start was a crowdfunding campaign. So. My parents couldn't help me out or anything. Still can't to this day. But I mean, of course, they support me. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
financial
them.
support. So,
Gosh, dang it.
But it's with that and setting the goal of racing in NASCAR, I kind of told myself that I'm going to look for any opportunity I can in any form of motorsports, just because it's going to help me. Not only from a branding standpoint, for my own personal brand of getting out in every industry I possibly can, but from a driving aspect. If I can drive anything and everything I can find and get halfway decent at it, at least it should help me driving different vehicles. I do driver coaching and road courses, doing Porsches, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, all that, and I hope that it all helps me in every aspect of racing I do. I mean, I love go-karting. I mean, we go to GoPro all the time.
It's a good
but
place.
Yeah, definitely. So
What'd you start out in?
these mini cup cars. They're little half-scale NASCAR cars.
mini
Yeah,
cup cars.
yeah, mini cup cars.
They race them in Chicago much?
Yeah,
They
all
do?
over the Midwest. Absolutely.
How old were you then?
I started racing about 9,
Alright.
and then when I was
Still
about
pretty young.
12, about 12, I got an opportunity to race a Legends car for a guy named Jimmy Hansen. I don't know if the name maybe rings a bell.
Do you know that?
Maybe?
Skip
I
knows
don't-
everyone.
I feel like I do, but I don't know if I'm getting confused with the Hanson brothers.
That's
Also
true.
No.
popular
They
band
didn't
on
race.
ice,
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
Good song
and
though.
then
Great
Bop.
song.
No, I don't know that I know him. Was he in the Midwest guy?
yeah, from Indiana, but he ran like the very first $1 million race with
I was
Hemrick.
there.
Yeah, when Hemrick was racing it, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I was there.
So yeah, and I drove for him, and then I drove a short track truck in that same year when I was 12, and ran that for a couple years until I kind of got some different opportunities. So
Mini Cup cars were pre-Bandolero type.
yeah.
It was a Bandolero before Bandoleros were out.
I love those cars though. Just the fact of it's
They were cool.
literally like a half-scale NASCAR car. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah,
all way. Like a Bando doesn't quite have suspension all the way around.
they run
stuff
them
like
here
that, but
at Millbridge.
mini cups.
What?
They took like a Mini Cup series and they put like their late model bodies on.
Yeah,
Really?
I watched them run
bodies.
that at the fairgrounds a couple times. They're
Yeah.
cool looking with little dirt late model bodies
Yeah,
on them.
I have seen some pictures of that. That's pretty cool.
Sketchy though.
Nah,
No, they're not that sketchy.
It feels like they're a little sketchy.
It's no more sketchy than running a go kart with no seatbelts.
I rolled one of those one time.
No.
I'll
big
tell you
deal.
what's sketchy is those damn outlaw carts. If you're a full-grown man, if you're
If
a
you're
child, it's not as
A
bad.
person like our friend Too Tall, who's 7 foot
he's-
tall, trying to get in an outlaw cart. That's sketchy. Yeah.
Selah beat
That
his
sounds like-
knees. soon.
Oh, rough.
That sounds like it's something for me though. I'm game all about sketchy. I'm
Outlaw
all
cart.
about that.
Have you been to Millbridge?
I've not.
When did you move here?
About like a month and a half ago. I've been down here
You're
though for the
fresh.
last like 4 years, so
We
Yeah,
gotta
it's
bring you
true.
to Millbridge.
yeah,
Bring
should
you out
maybe.
there,
I'm
experience it.
definitely game.
I'm sure there's a big
When's
race
that
going
open?
on. What?
Is that Speed 51 open or what is it?
No, it's something else now.
It's not Speed Sport.
Is it the Keith Kuntz still this year?
Oh yeah, maybe that's at the end of the year.
Yeah, there's a big race out there. It's just giant,
I'm in.
televised, and then you might want to ride to the Chili Bowl. I don't know
Yeah.
what the specs on that are.
Toyota has to. So what they do is Keith Kunz owns those midgets that like Kyle Larson runs and everything.
Pretty good ones.
So they do like a Keith Kuhn give back race. Toyota puts it on. You have to be invited. So you have to go through a vetting process. Then they invite you to run that race. And if you win that race, you get a ride.
And you can have major sponsorship too.
You can't have been like a paid driver.
Yeah,
Like
So
Donnie
you-
Schatz
so
can
you're-
go run
you're
that.
out.
You know,
you can't run.
me nope,
Yeah.
I'm done. Me and Tick
Professional.
Mike. Me and Tick Mike are going to the
He's a
promised
good.
land.
He's a good dude.
Tick Mike's
We need to
good.
have him on here. So anyway, Charlotte weekend.
Are you racing? So what's your next truck? Your next NASCAR race?
Yeah, well, actually, I got a phone call the other day. I can't really say it until it's on the entry list to make it official, but I think it's just going to be a ride around
This
deal.
doesn't come out till
So,
Friday.
All right, touche.
Nor
enough.
does anyone listen to it.
Yeah,
so
well,
it's
come on
fine.
now. I
Well,
listen to it. Come
yeah.
on.
I mean, Tyler Reddick actually announced his cup plans on here, but they were already announced by the time it came out. So if you say something now, it might just be news, not old news.
He
It's
did,
true, it's
he
true.
did okay.
well, I
Tyler
think
Reddick.
I'm.
Tyler Reddick beat us.
Yeah.
Top 10.
He
Shout out
he's
to
a
him.
wheelman, dude.
He did good.
Telling you.
Well, I think I'm driving the 8 for Nemechek this weekend.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah,
man,
so-
that's not a bad truck.
No, not at all. But I mean, we're not running the whole deal. I don't think.
I told
so.
you this
But, yeah,
before
it's-
on my philosophy on the start and park
yeah,
deal.
well,
Just stay out there. Just see how
Yeah, I know,
long the
yeah.
time
Well,
I
we'll
watched a
go.
video from, I don't know, mid-90s, Tim Fedowa,
Yeah.
who's Harvick sponsor now. They were just going to start and park. Like, it sounded like they're on the boulevard the night before, and they're like, yo, we got a car. You want to start and park it? And they're like, hell yeah. And then there was a big wreck at the beginning of the race.
Some
and they're
beer
like,
money.
you know what? We're going to run this thing. He finished second.
No
there was only 3
way.
cars on lead lap.
When was that?
wait.
It was in the 90s.
Yeah, it was at yes.
Talladega.
Yeah, Talladega. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
remember hearing
Fedowa.
something about that
See,
recently.
miracles can happen, man.
You know, yeah.
This truck's usually a wreck
yeah.
fest. Charlotte will
We'll see.
probably
I think
be
you
see
some
how
should.
it
good ones.
goes.
I think that you should, and I feel like I tried to push Morgan Kane on this, but I feel like you need to get Monster Jam on board for Eldora and paint your truck like your monster truck. I mean, could you imagine if like you and the Anderson kid or Morgan Kane came with your truck and then a Gravedigger truck,
That'd be awesome.
It would be cool.
And
You know,
what?
I'd love
and then
to
you'd
do.
win? Could you imagine a story if you won?
Yeah, it would be wicked. It would be
I
wicked.
feel like
mean,
they
it's
pitched that to everyone though.
you know, it'd be cool. I know, I'd
Story
love
if you
to.
win.
Yeah.
Keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. You're good. I mean, I'd love to do that. I'm just lucky to be the only person that does both Monster Jam and NASCAR. And
He wants it for himself. He's being selfish
well,
now.
No, this is
no,
you.
not at all.
He's
I'm
like,
just
don't call Ryan or
No.
Morgan.
No, look.
This
if
is my
you-
deal.
If anybody can look, it's all cool and dandy if you come from, if you're a sprint car guy or a midget guy, or
been done.
you know you're on dirt modifieds or late models. No. I'm in Monster Jam. All right, here I'm painting my truck like the damn Gravedigger. How badass would that be?
I mean, I'd stick with my own truck, Bakugan Dragonoid, man. I
there
don't
you
know.
go.
I mean,
Maybe you can. I saw the body. You can sell them on
Yeah.
that a little bit more aero.
yeah. Hey, I mean, we have the nose, the horns there too, help push the air around the truck.
Not bad.
Absolutely. That's
That
the
would
way
be
to do
cool.
it. Yeah.
What
I don't
about
like
that
NASCAR,
zombie? That zombie truck with the arms on it?
His arms
Yeah.
always fall right off.
That should be on a NASCAR
Just-
truck.
You know how many times how many
Right?
like things they tried to do and put in those arms to make them work. I mean, they tried.
It's
I
just
think-
physics aren't going to
I
work
think
on
no.
that.
Is
I
there
mean,
one man dedicated to that job at Feld?
I'm not sure. All I know is I've seen how many arms they have sitting there
Like
ready
a
to go.
scientist?
It's crazy. They have, I think it's like fishing poles in there now. I think just massive fishing poles or what.
Oh, that
deep-sea
makes
fishing
sense.
poles.
Yeah.
Just to make it, flexible still. I think. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I've heard lately. I mean, man, that's crazy. How
That's
This is
gotta
the
be
stuff
annoying
you
when
don't
you're
get on other
driving.
podcasts.
You don't get to know what the arms are made out of.
Yeah. This is
not-
why we're the best.
I noticed this weekend, and I didn't know if it's just because you guys are hauling more ass than usual, but when they would hit, like freestyle, they'd come down off the ramp,
Yeah.
and then hit the first jump, and the bodies would be flying off of them things. Were
yeah.
they do
The
that?
last
Would they
race.
put the old bodies on because it's the last race, or were they just going that much
Loosen
faster?
them bolts
No,
up, dude.
just the. I mean, strictly like the bodies. What they did. So one of the trucks that body fell off. He did 2-wheel skills, and I knew the body kind of got loosened up that way. And then
2-wheel skills.
2-wheel skills challenge. Yeah, there were 6 or 7 different competitions this weekend.
So I
Profiles.
only knew the race and then the
Freestyle.
freestyle.
You're out of the
Yeah.
loop.
So
I'm
then-
out of the loop now.
We're out of the loop.
So there was the racing in the truck, a 2-wheel skills in the truck, high jump, which is what I did, and then freestyle in the truck, which is what I did as well. And then there was also a speedster champion and an ATV champion.
Wait,
So-
how high is this high jump?
We were just under 50 feet. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah, it was big.
smokes.
It was big. I
Like-
got second in
Like
that.
bottom of the
unfortunately.
tires or the top of the roof?
Top of the or the highest point of the front tire.
Holy
Yeah.
smokes.
So we were skyrocketing this thing up. Yeah, I got second. I think I was 40.
How's that feel coming down? Yeah, good, huh? Good lord.
You know, it's
Do you land
straight
on the
cage
flat?
was great. No. We had a big ramp that was kind of like a down ramp for us,
That's
but
a
we'd still end on our tail.
That's
so.
a 5-story building.
I flipped side by side last fall at Logano's property, and I thought I
52
broke
feet
my
in the
neck.
air?
Nope, I just
Just
hit up,
one
flipped
foot-
over,
one foot in the air.
landed on the cage, thought I broke my neck. But
Yeah.
did not have the right safety equipment on probably. But moral of the story: forget coming down from 50 feet.
Yeah. No
It
kidding.
wasn't that bad. No, I mean we got second there too, man. First loser a couple times that weekend, but it's all right.
I know
you
the pain.
It's
I've been there
it
for 3 years of my life. I ran second in almost
Oh,
every
boy.
race I ran.
Yeah, he's
Really?
terrible.
real.
His
But I broke
picture on my
through.
phone actually is a picture of him with a second place medal
I
around
broke
his
through.
neck.
I broke through.
Every time he calls.
Every
Tell him.
time he calls.
I broke through.
We did. Because I came.
Yep.
And
you
I
can.
slept all day for the race. Well, it was cool having you in, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for
That was
coming on.
exciting.
Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah.
It's definitely good. I know we've been talking about it for a while, and maybe hopefully come back on, have some more stories.
Post
and-
this on your Twitters, and maybe
Yeah.
we'll get some more listeners on it.
Of course. Absolutely get some
Um,
Monster Jam fans listening.
We're going to go race a go-kart race now for our buddy Lonnie Klaus, who has First Responders First. And it's sponsored by Blake Cook, which was on here last week with Filter Time. And it should be a pretty good time. Me and Skip are on separate teams.
Let me
So
tell you about Greg's friendship.
we're going to try to...
Let me tell you what happened here.
Wreck
My
each
buddy
other.
Brandon Todd says, "Hey, we're gonna put a team together. We put our businesses together, and we're all gonna pitch in and get this team." Last week, this week,
No,
who
last
texts the
week.
group and says, "Oh, I'm starting my own team, guys. Sorry." So now we only have 3 people.
I mean, do you need another driver? Because I'm here. You know.
We might.
Yeah,
Or did
Alright.
did you call Sam?
I didn't.
Okay, maybe. You
I,
might need- go get your helmet.
So the
I-
thing
it's
is,
in the
all my
car, man.
guys got mad, and they were like, well, we want to race this. So I had to make a team off Axis, which ended up costing me 4 times as much for all my guys to come. But I'm doing it for charity. I'm trying to help out first responders, and I'm there for a good time, you know?
Good for you.
So
Just a model
don't
citizen.
come at me. What'd you get your wife for Mother's Day last weekend?
Oh, I got her a
Anything?
birthstone necklace from my
Oh,
my
that's
daughter.
so nice.
Yep.
Pull you out of
What'd
the
you get your
doghouse.
wife?
I got a Jeep out of the garage. It's
Oh,
been in
you're
there
not married yet.
for
He's procrastinating.
yeah, but we have a dog though. It's basically the same thing as a child.
Make her
right?
an honest woman.
You think?
Yep. try.
Every episode
We're
we have to
getting
hear
we
about
are
this.
getting way off topic here.
We're down to 1 minute.
Okay. Daryl says 1 minute. I
All
gave
right.
Daryl a headset weeks ago, and he still doesn't chime in on this
What do you
show.
want me to say?
I want you to say whatever. It's great.
Okay.
I do miss Tyler Burnett on this show.
He wants to
Well,
come
we
on.
were on.
Yeah,
We started this because we were on a fantasy racing show.
which I don't
Which
know
is
why.
if you need fantasy sports advice, you can call Tyler.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, call that-
704-277-1394.
Please call that number.
Or if you want to talk anything, sports, anything, call that number.
Please.
Tell them how bad the Browns suck,
Yes.
or whoever the hell else. Here in Cleveland.
Yeah.
The Browns old team. The Bears.
The Bears. Hey,
That's
whoa, Chicago, come on.
Oh yeah.
Good deal. Well, we appreciate you
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I
Yeah,
definitely
man.
appreciate it.
Hey, shout out to Dotes Dude, as always.
as always.
As always, Dotes Dude. Do you go to Australia at all?
Yeah, I went there last year.
Go
Oh,
see Dotes
yeah.
Dude.
Dotes Dude.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Again, thank you. Hopefully come back on another time.